Hi, and welcome to 2K Sports Studios. I'm Greg Gumbel with Clark Kellogg. We're here with the 2K Sports NCAA Selection Show. We're all set to show you the seedings and pairings, so get out your bracket sheet, get those pencils ready. Here are the basics. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. The tournament committee hands out the remaining 34 bids on an at-large basis. An opening round game will take place on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. Before we get into the brackets for the upcoming tournament, let's take a look at the final top 25 media poll. There's at least one change in the rankings to tell you about. A new team has made the top 25 this week. The St. Joseph's Hawks are back in the poll as the number 22 team. The poll voters have had their say in the national ranking since November, but the time has come to hand over the reins to the selection committee. Now let's take a look at the NCAA tournament bubble and see which teams are sitting at home with their fingers crossed, hoping to see their name in the brackets. There are a lot of worthy candidates among these 10 teams, Clark. Which of these bubble teams stands out to you right now?
Bradley couldn't pull through in its conference tournament and now is forced to sweat it out. Even with all the success of non-power conference schools in the past, it's no guarantee that they'll be in the NCAA tournament.
You got that right, and who else might be in the same position?
Duquesne put together a solid season, but their record just isn't impressive enough to make them a no-brainer bid. If the committee doesn't give weight to their tough conference, they could be out of luck.
I'm sure it's been a long week for those teams, but the wait's almost over. The NCAA Selection Committee has finished its meeting, and we're ready to unveil the top 4 seeds in this year's tournament. The Duke Blue Devils are the top overall seed, and they will play in the East Regional. They begin the tournament as the dominant team in college basketball. They've been ranked number 1 in the media poll for the past 6 weeks. We'll soon find out if they can live up to their billing. On to the second number 1 seed, who will play in the South Regional. The Oregon Ducks are seeking their second NCAA championship in school history. The Indiana Hoosiers are our third number 1 seed, and they'll play in the Midwest Regional. They're back in the tournament again, and no doubt they'll be feeding off the experience of last year's appearance as they try to get to the Final Four this year. And finally, our fourth number 1 seed will play in the West Regional. The Memphis Tigers are in the tournament field as a number 1 seed for the second time in the history of their program. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the number 1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the East Regional will play the winner of the South Regional. In the other semifinal game, the winner of the Midwest Regional will play the winner of the West Regional. Those games will be played on Saturday, March the 31st. Then it'll be on to the national championship game on Monday night, April the 2nd. Any surprises in there for you, Clark?
I don't think I'm alone in my surprise with these picks. Whenever you reach this far down the poll for the top seeds, you're guaranteed to have some second guesses coming your way.
So, with the number 1 seeds out of the way, it's finally time to tackle the rest of the brackets. First up, we take a look at the East Regional. The Duke Blue Devils are the top seed, finishing at 27-3. They were winners of the regular season championship in the ACC. They will take on the winner of the opening round play-in game between Fairleigh Dickinson with 18 wins and San Francisco from the West Coast Conference. And now, the number 8 seed, the Ohio State Buckeyes, come into the tournament as the 4th place team in their conference during the regular season and finish second in their conference tournament. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the North Carolina State Wolfpack, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 25-9. Pittsburgh comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 23-11. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Metro Atlantic Conference, the Fairfield Stags, with 26 wins. West Virginia enters the field as the number 4 seed from the Big East. This is their 24th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Montana Grizzlies, finished the season with 22 wins.
The West Virginia Mountaineers have been here before and know how to win in the tournament, so they have a very good chance to go a long way. The memory of their last trip to the Final Four is still fresh in their minds, and you can't put a price on that kind of experience, even for the guys who were just watching from the bench last time around. I think that gives them a huge edge.
The Illinois Fighting Illini are in as the number 6 seed. They'll be taking on the number 11 seed, the Villanova Wildcats, with 22 wins. North Carolina comes in as the number 3 seed, finishing at 25-6. Jacksonville State comes in to face them at number 14 with 21 wins in the tournament and regular season championships of the Ohio Valley Conference. Our number 7 seed is from the Big 12. The Aggies of Texas A&M were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Miami Hurricanes, who were 5th in their conference, finishing at 19-13. Next up is the number 2 seed. The UCLA Bruins have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Pac-10. They'll be going up against the number 15 seed, the UC Irvine Anteaters, with 18 wins. This marks their first appearance in the NCAA Tournament in school history. What a tremendous regional final we'd have in this bracket if the number 1 and 2 seeds here make it through the first 3 rounds unscathed. That could be one of the games of the tournament. Next up, we'll take a look at the South Regional. The Oregon Ducks are the top seed, finishing at 28-5. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Pac-10. They'll take on the Stony Brook Seawolves, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their first appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. Wichita State comes in as the number 8 seed, finishing at 23-6. Houston comes in to face them at number 9 with 23 wins, and a legion of loyal fans just dying for some tournament success. Washington enters the field as the number 5 seed from the Pac-10. This is their 18th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed, the Alabama Birmingham Blazers, finished the season with 21 wins.
The Washington Huskies will be an extremely dangerous team in this tournament, mainly because they have such terrific veteran leadership. Coaches love when they have guys on the floor that have been around the block a few times because they don't get rattled. They play with composure. I look at the experience of this team as something that could put them over the top.
Texas Tech comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 22-7. And they'll take on the 13th seed from the Ivy League, the Brown Bears, with 19 wins. And now the number 6 seed, the Oklahoma Sooners, come into the tournament on the strength of a 3rd-place finish in their conference regular season and were winners of their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Michigan Wolverines, who were 5th in their conference, finishing at 18-13. The Louisville Cardinals are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Lamar Cardinals, with 20 wins. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Vanderbilt Commodores have established themselves as one of the best teams from the SEC. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Kansas Jayhawks, with 22 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. Our number 2 seed is from the Big East. The Georgetown Hoyas had a tremendous year that included a regular season championship. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Rams, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 20-11. On the surface, I'd have to say this regional might be the most difficult of the 4. Certainly the depth of quality teams here is very impressive. Whoever emerges from this bracket will have been through some battles. On to our 3rd bracket of the day. Let's take a look at the Midwest Regional. The Indiana Hoosiers are the top seed, finishing at 28-4. They were conference tournament champions in the Big Ten. They'll take on the High Point Panthers, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their 2nd appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. Our number 8 seed is from the SEC. The Tennessee Volunteers were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Texas Longhorns, who were 6th in their conference, finishing at 19-11. The UNLV Runnin' Rebels are in as the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the Akron Zips, with 24 wins. Xavier enters the field as the number 4 seed from the A-10 Conference. This is their 21st appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, finished the season with 22 wins.
The Xavier Musketeers have got to be among the group of teams that has a chance to win the whole thing. I love the way they play on both ends of the floor. I'd be shocked if they don't at least advance from their bracket to the Final Four. But more than that, I think they've got a legitimate shot to win some hardware.
St. Joseph's comes in as the number 6 seed, finishing at 22-8. And they take on the 11th seed from the Missouri Valley Conference, the Bradley Braves, with 23 wins. And now the number 3 seed, the Florida Gators, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and finish 2nd in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Utah State Aggies, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 20-11. Next up is the number 7 seed. The New Mexico Lobos have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Mountain West Conference. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, with 21 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. Connecticut comes in as the number 2 seed, finishing at 27-7. American comes in to face them at number 15 with 15 wins in the tournament championship of the Patriot League. This bracket has the potential to give us a sensational matchup in the regional final if everything goes according to form and the top 2 seeds can survive the early rounds. And finally, let's have a look at the West Regional. The Memphis Tigers are the top seed, finishing at 26-2. They were winners of the regular season championship in Conference USA. They'll take on Mississippi Valley State's Delta Devils, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their 4th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. Next up is the number 8 seed. The Hofstra Pride are the conference tournament and regular season champions from the Colonial Athletic Association. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the Florida State Seminoles, with 21 wins. This is their 12th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. St. Louis comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 24-8. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Horizon League, the Phoenix of Wisconsin Green Bay, with 21 wins. Alabama comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 25-7.
I'm not going to Alabama. I'm not going to Alabama.
Face them at number 13 with 22 wins in the tournament and regular season championships of the Atlantic Sun Conference. Our number 6 seed is from the Mountain West Conference. The Brigham Young Cougars come into the NCAA tournament as winners of their regular season and conference tournament championships. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Kent State Golden Flashes, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 20-8. The Washington State Cougars are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the away team, with 21 wins. And now the number 7 seed, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, finishing at 18-13. Michigan State enters the field as the number 2 seed from the Big Ten. This marks their 25th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed. The Mountaineers of Appalachian State finished the season with 18 wins.
The Michigan State Spartans are a team that is just so powerful and strong up front. I would put their front court up against just about any other teams in the nation right now. It's always good to have strong guard play, but if you ask most coaches, I guarantee you they take the good big man over the good little man most times. Their interior play should serve them very well in this competition.
Some of the lower seeds in this bracket have the ability to not only compete with the high seeds, but win a few games. The potential for a Cinderella or two in this bracket is definitely there. What are your thoughts on our top 16 seeds, Clark?
There are no real off-the-wall picks that jump out at me. These 16 teams are all pretty deserving. Let's give the committee some props this year. Xavier is a team I wouldn't want to face, even though they're down there as a number 4 seed. I think they've got the potential to be a Cinderella team.
Now, let's bring the conference picture into focus. The Big East gets 8 teams. The ACC with 5 out of the Big 12. The Big 10 gets 5 teams.
What a down year for the non-power conferences. We're used to seeing at least one of those conferences compete on the level of the power conferences. But not this year.
It's too bad we didn't see more small conference schools in the tournament. None of those conferences got more than 1 team in the tourney, and I don't expect any David and Goliath stories out of the teams that did get in.
I'm surprised there were so few bids for the teams in the Mountain West Conference. It was an especially disappointing year for that conference. Usually you can count on a few of the nation's elite teams coming out of there, but this was a season where very few of those teams could maintain any type of positive momentum.
Here's the list of the teams that were on the bubble heading into Selection Sunday. So, partner, which of those invitees should be sending the selection committee a thank you card?
Miami.
Must feel like a weight was lifted off its shoulders, but now the real challenge begins. Making a strong run in the tournament will justify the bid while proving the naysayers wrong.
While those teams are celebrating getting into the tournament, let's take a look at the other teams who were on the short end of the stick.
Duquesne stumbled to the finish line coming down the stretch. And that's not the way to close out the season if you're hoping for an at-large bid. When they couldn't get it done in their conference tournament, their goose was cooked.
Thanks, Clark. I'm sure that this year will provide us with all the thrills and excitement that we've come to expect from the tournament.
Greg, it's going to be a fantastic tournament. We've got an outstanding field and a lot of sensational players. I guarantee there are some memorable moments soon to come.
For my partner Clark Kellogg and for all of us here in the 2K Sports Studios, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us on the NCAA Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Enjoy all the excitement of the NCAA Tournament.